You know, sometimes you buy something and almost immediately experience a feeling of guilt and almost remorse. Well, that is exactly where I am right now. I've just spent nearly £1,000 that I absolutely was not intending on spending. I've actually been victim to some really clever sales tactics, but not victim because I'm really excited. Okay, so about 12 months ago, me and Rach had gone out for a meal. I was driving home, Rach was sitting in this seat here. I went into a corner a little bit too fast, ended up clipping a rock, and we went spinning down the road with me saying, I've got it. And then I kind of didn't have it and we ended up in a ditch. Rach's airbags went off. I felt really bad about that. I got in big trouble. So anyway, it was a minor mishap. I just clipped a rock, went into a corner a bit too fast. No big deal. The car was a write-off, but I got it fixed anyway. So after that incident, I promised Rach that I'd do some driving days, some like track days basically. I worded it so it was more like tuition. It's something that I really wanted to do anyway, but this was the perfect excuse to do it. So I phoned around quite a number of instructors. I really wanted to go with this guy that was charging £1,000 a day, but I thought it was just a bit too much. I didn't want to spend that much money, so I ended up going with a few cheaper ones at the time. But now, 12 months on, this guy has just hooked me into his course at £1,000 a day. And ever since I made that first phone call to him and gave him my details, it was inevitable at some point he was gonna turn me into a customer, because he was using some really clever sales tactics, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Okay, so how did this guy hook me in and get me to spend a load of money? Well, the answer is he was really good at making sure that he caught me at the right time, and today the timing was absolutely perfect. So let me give you an example of how important timing is. I like ice cream. Ice cream's really good, but if an ice cream van pulled up under normal circumstances on a normal day, I would just ignore it. I wouldn't go outside. But if one pulled up right now, I've just come in from the warm weather, I'm pretty thirsty and dehydrated, probably should go and drink some water, but I would go straight outside and I would buy 1 or 2 or 3 ice creams. In fact, I'm going to go to the shop after this and I'm going to get me an ice cream. So that's an example. If you catch somebody at the right time and put something in front of them at the right time, the chances are pretty high that they'll say yes. But it's all about timing. Now, this guy had a really clever strategy to make sure that eventually it would catch me at the perfect time, everything would align, and I would say yes. So let me jump over to the whiteboard. I'm going to draw some pictures because I like to drink in pictures, think in pictures. Probably a sign that I should have some water as well. And I'm going to try and explain exactly what this guy did. Okay, so this is me in the green, this is Mr. Driving Instructor in the blue, and these are the 3 things that dictate whether I buy Mr. Driving Instructor's track day course thingy. So thing number 1 is my mood. If I'm in a bad mood, I don't buy anything. I'm probably a horrible person. I've got to be in a good mood to make big purchases. Secondly, my situation. Well, I've got to actually want what they're selling. So for example, if I've just booked another track day or I'm out of the country, then the situation just isn't right. The third thing, I've got to be able to justify spending the money. So I've got to have some spare cash. Actually, sometimes I buy stuff if I can't justify it, but really ideally, I need to have some spare cash about me. So On day number 1, 12 months ago. This is 12 months ago, this is today. Day number 1, I made a phone call. Now, at the time I made that phone call, I was in a good mood. My situation was suitable. I was looking to actually do a track day, some tuition kind of thing. But I couldn't justify spending that amount of money. So this third criteria was a no-go. So a few weeks later, Mr. Driving Instructor followed up with a phone call just to make sure everything was okay and I had all the information that I wanted. I was in a good mood. My situation wasn't good though. I just booked another track day, so it wasn't good from his perspective. It was really good from my perspective. I no longer wanted to book a track day because I already had one booked with another instructor. So it doesn't really matter if I had any spare cash. This second criteria wasn't a fit. So a few weeks after that, he sent me an email. When he sent me that email, for whatever reason, I remember I was just in a bad mood. It wasn't a bad email, it was quite interesting. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but I was in a bad mood. So I was never going to buy if I was in a bad mood. So what the guy did is he continued to phone me and email me for the next 12 months until we got to today. He made a phone call. Today I was in a really good mood for whatever reason. My situation, funnily enough, I was just thinking about doing a track day, thinking how much I wanted to do one. My tyres on my car are quite worn down, so I just wanted to give them a real beating and get the last little bit of juice out of them. So my situation was good and I had some spare cash so I could justify spending the money. So everything aligned and I ended up becoming a customer and buying his stuff. Now, going back 12 months, if he'd have just left it at this initial phone call, as most people do, I would have never turned into a customer. I wouldn't have phoned him back. I would never have thought of him again. But because he followed up with me, then I ended up turning into a customer. He got me at the right time today, everything aligned, and I turned into a customer. But the key to this is he didn't annoy me in the follow-up. Every time he phoned me or emailed me, he had a really good reason to do it. So the first time he was just making sure everything was okay, that I got all the information. That was fine, that didn't annoy me. The second time he was sending a video of a guy that had just done his track day. It was kind of a testimonial email really, but it showed a little bit about the day and about the story, so that was cool. The third time I think he was telling me about a new facility that they had down at the track that allowed you to do skids and stuff. So he had a reason to phone me that time. This time I think he was, I don't know, it was like a special offer or something. He'd had a cancellation. Every single time he contacted me, and there were a few more in there, he had a good reason to do so. So he didn't annoy me, and as a result, I stayed in a good mood. If he'd have annoyed me, then straight away I would have been in a bad mood and not bought anything. We've had experience of this, and only a very, very small percentage of people turn into customers from this initial point of contact. It's all about the follow-up, and it's about doing it in a non-annoying way and having a genuine reason to contact people. So he caught me at the right time today. Speaking of the right time, it's sunny weather outside. I'm inside. I'm going to go to the beach. And I'm going to take the drone, obviously. Okay, so whatever yes you're trying to get, whether it's a yes from a customer to buying your stuff, or whether it's a yes, it's okay for you to buy that crossbow from your girlfriend, not quite got the timing right with that one by the way, are you maximising the chances that eventually you will get a yes by giving yourself multiple opportunities to get the timing just right? This ice cream drips all over my foot. Wait just a minute before you go. Two things. First of all, if you've enjoyed this, do me a favour and hit like or leave a comment or subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Second of all, I've got some free stuff for you that I think you're going to enjoy as well. To get it, just go to the homepage of rickbwilliamson.com. There you will find whatever I'm giving away at the moment. It's likely to be some free training or a webinar or something like that. So that's it. Enjoy your free stuff. Go and get your free stuff. Have a cool day. Thanks for watching. See ya.